St. Augustine is brimming with nearly 500 years of history, and we're the types to wish to soak in as much of the city's fascinating culture as we can. So,
today we are exploring the oldest city in the United States, St. Augustine, Florida. Now, Tony and I have been here once before, but it was a super quick trip, so we are very excited to see what the city is all about.
So today we're going to give St. Augustine a fair shot and determine just for ourselves how worth it this place is to visit. But we're not just here for the sights, we're going to find some great local restaurants as well. To kick things off, we started at one of the best breakfast spots in the area. It's our first morning in St. Augustine, so we're starting the day off with breakfast at Blue Hen.
This place is on pretty much every top places to eat in St. Augustine list that there is, so we are going to see if it is up to the hype.
The corned beef hash was different from anywhere I've ever had it. It was nice chunks of beef, peppers, and really good home fries.
And the Yardbird was phenomenal. Buttermilk fried chicken, grits, onion bacon gravy, and it came with a side of collard greens. I'm a collard green girl now.
My breakfast came with a biscuit that was so good, Sarah had to order one for herself. Two of the most important questions.
Okay.
Was it worth the hype? And where does it rank in all the breakfast spots we've been to?
That was really good. Definitely worth the hype, which I'm happy about. Sometimes we have trouble with these like must-eat at lists. I think it's in the top 5 for sure, but I'm gonna put maybe 3. 2 or 3.
Wow, 3, okay.
Yeah.
It is a small kind of venue and it's popular, so it's gonna be crowded. It's like a 15-20 minute wait, but totally worth it. Area right near Blue Hen, and where we're located now is the historic Lincolnville District. Now this is important because this is where black men and women who were freed after the Civil War settled. It's also important because this is where Dr. Martin Luther King was arrested and protests gained nationwide attention. But we'll get more into that later. Flagler College is a liberal arts college that really stands out in the city. It also happens to be in the old Ponce de Leon Hotel, making it a historic landmark.
Across the street from the college is the Lightner Museum. We didn't actually go inside, but the courtyard is absolutely gorgeous. One thing on our to-do list while we're here is to go to St. Augustine Distillery. So they have a free tour and tasting where you can try out their vodka and gin and I think bourbon or whiskey. And then we're going to head to the ice plant after, which is in the same building, for something to eat.
You guys, we're going to do a nice rum tasting. That's going to be done with our 90 proof barrel aged rum and our tropical tiki mix. But in that tiki mix is going to be some pineapple juice, coconut cream, vanilla, and nutmeg, almond extract, ginger, and lime.
Ice Plant looks and feels like an upscale bar. The food here is pretty good, but it's pricey, so we stuck to appetizers. We got the smoked fish dip and the lemon curd shrimp with garlic toast. But what Ice Plant really specializes in is the cocktails.
been biking and walking everywhere while we're in St. Augustine, and I feel like that's pretty much the preferred mode of transportation. So I recommend staying near the historic district, maybe even St. Augustine Beach, renting some bikes, bringing your own, or find an accommodation that provides them, like our Airbnb. So this is how we will be getting around this weekend.
In the early days of St. Augustine, St. George Street was the main street. Now it's a popular area for pedestrians for shops, local restaurants, bakeries, and so much more.
Prohibition is a 20s themed restaurant. The menus are designed like old newspapers, and everything is focused on the end of the Prohibition era. Today is Wednesday, December 5th, 1933. We have a high of 80 degrees and a low of 67. Roosevelt has officially ended Prohibition.
Here I went with the PK Signature Burger, which is a blend of short rib, brisket, and sirloin with smoked bacon, red onion jam, and a fried egg. Also, sorry about the egg.
Our waiter suggested that I get the short-ribbed grilled cheese, but without the peppers and also substituting in bacon. It was good, but I do wish it was a little bit cheesier.
Every street in St. Augustine has its own history, but we found the rumors about this particular street to be the most fascinating.
Right now we are on Treasury Street, which might just be one of the most narrow streets in all of the United States, measuring in at just under 7 feet wide. Now, the Royal Spanish Treasury intentionally designed it this way to try and protect against piracy.
Almost. Castillo de San Marcos is the oldest fort in the US and a national monument. It's one of those places that really stands out, so you almost have to check it out.
The Castillo de San Marcos is probably the most prominent or recognizable thing in St. Augustine. Is it worth it? Maybe. We have a national parks pass, so we were actually able to get in here for free. Would have been $15 for each of us. So if we had to pay, I probably would say it's not worth it. Or if you were like very, very, very into history, like a super top-notch history buff, then maybe. But it was fine because it was free for us. Welcome to my crib. We got a lot of wood. We got a lot of onions. Got a lot of barrels.
What's in the barrels?
Whiskey.
Ooh.
Barrel brewed. Ooh. 68 days. 68 days? I feel like that's not a lot of time.
That's not a lot of time at all. We mentioned Dr. Martin Luther King's stay in the city, but along with him was Reverend Andrew Young, who marched from Lincolnville to the city plaza. An angry mob attacked Reverend Young, but the spot where he marched has been memorialized with several bronze footsteps across the sidewalk. Each panel features a different civil rights goal and quote. Before the day was over, we made a quick stop for some ice cream at Peace Pie. I have no idea how to attack this. Do I just bite into it? Do I use the spoon? It's gonna be messy.
hard. Being in a coastal town, watching the sunset and eating seafood seemed like a must, so we went and searched for some local seafood restaurants for dinner. We attempted to go to Harry's, but it was way too busy, so we stopped in a spot that we've been to before, St. Augustine Seafood Company. I'd say that this restaurant is fine, definitely nothing special, but it's great to satisfy that seafood craving while you're in St. Augustine. Oysters tend to be very hit or miss with us, but to be fair, they do taste much better smothered in lemon juice and cocktail sauce. We ordered a couple of cocktails with our dinner and then called it a night. We'll just watch the time
fly. We're on our way to this neat little breakfast spot called Sunday, and it's just north of Castillo de San Marcos.
Yeah, this spot can be pretty easy to miss because it's actually in an old house that was renovated into a restaurant, so let's go check it out. The food at Sunday was pretty good. It did taste very fresh and had a very farm-to-table feel, but it wasn't my favorite breakfast spot that we've ever been to. I decided to order the Eggs Benedict, which came on sourdough bread, and the waitress actually said that this was one of the more popular dishes on the menu.
And I got the Beck sandwich, which was your standard bacon, egg, and cheese on sourdough bread. Like any popular restaurant, Sunday gets busy. We were here around 9 o'clock and beat most of the crowd, but after we ate, it started getting packed. Just across the Bridge of Lions from downtown and a few blocks away from the beach is the St. Augustine Lighthouse.
General admission for this costs $14.95 per adult. There are a couple of things included with the general admission cost, but we are most excited to see the lighthouse. I'm a little bit nervous because we got the safety pamphlet that's basically saying it's going to be 14 flights of stairs. Don't do it if you have any health risks, so we'll see how we manage.
There are 219 steps to the top, and this lighthouse is supposed to be haunted, so let's see what happens if we get to the top. But all I ever do is think about it still. I know I say too many sorries, spend too much time in pity parties in my head. I can't tell if I talk too much or I don't say enough. It's like I don't believe that anyone could like me for me. 219 steps later, we made it to the top. But ain't no way I'm going out there on that ledge, so Sarah's gonna take over filming, which you can watch more of on our Instagram.
Go to the edge.
Oh, hell no.
We hadn't seen the beach since arriving, so after the lighthouse, we decided to head to the coastline. Like any other Florida coastal town, a huge appeal for St. Augustine is the beach and ocean access. So just about 3 miles over the bridge from the historical district District, you will find St. Augustine Beach and the pier. After the beach, we had definitely worked up an appetite, so we decided to go to Mango Mangoes. Sort of on a whim, but we are super glad that we did. I got the coconut shrimp, and honestly, it was pretty phenomenal. It came with this really delicious pina colada sauce, and Tony decided to get the chipotle shrimp tacos.
A couple of days in St. Augustine is more than enough time. But since we enjoyed ourselves so much, we definitely recommend this place as a spot to visit.
Boom.
Wow, 13! 12 miles an hour! Eat that, Carl Lewis!